I work as a psychologist and I specialize in sleep disorders. Insomnia, night terrors, anxiety-related episodes. I've listened to hundreds of people describe what happens to them at night, and most of the time the stories blur together. This one did not. This one stayed sharp even before I understood why. A patient told me he used to wake up unable to move, fully conscious, eyes open, body frozen. That part was familiar. Then he paused, swallowed hard, and said there was a man standing near his bed, watching him without blinking. He said the man's face was close enough that he could see every line of it, even though the room was dark. I asked him to describe the face. He hesitated longer than I expected, and when he finally spoke, his voice dropped. Oval face, small nose, thick eyebrows. He said the man leaned closer and moved his mouth next to his ear, whispering things he couldn't understand, but somehow knew were instructions. After that session, I started paying attention in a way I hadn't before. Sleep paralysis cases came in waves, but now the details were lining up too well. Different patients, different backgrounds, same structure, same presence, the same face. Before each patient reached the part where the face appeared, the tension in the room changed. They stopped shifting in their chairs, their breathing slowed, but their hands clenched harder. It was like their bodies remembered something their mouths were trying to avoid. One woman described feeling watched even after waking up, as if the episode didn't fully end when her body moved again. She said she avoided mirrors because she felt stupid standing there afraid of nothing. She laughed while saying it, but her eyes stayed fixed on the door. Then there was another patient, a woman in her early 30s, who reacted very differently. When she spoke about the man, her voice softened instead of tightening. She said she fell in love with him the first time she saw him in her dream, even though she admitted he was not attractive. She described him with the same details as the others, but her tone carried warmth instead of fear. She said that in her dreams he treated her kindly at first. He brought her flowers, jewelry, he took her to dinner, to the beach, to watch the sunset. She smiled while talking about it, and that smile made my stomach turn because it did not match the fear I had already seen in others. I did not sleep well after that. I kept replaying the sessions in my head, not as a professional analysis, but as a growing sense that something was pressing closer. Before the fear fully arrived, there was anticipation, and that anticipation felt physical, sitting heavy in my chest and throat. I decided to run a controlled exercise. I asked several patients to either draw the face or describe it in detail, telling them it could help externalize the fear. Most of them resisted. One man asked me if that would make it worse. I told him I didn't know, which was the first honest answer I'd given all week. The drawings were nearly identical. Same proportions, same expressionless mouth, same eyebrows. Even the spacing between the eyes matched in ways that should not happen by chance. I felt my hands start shaking as I laid them side by side on my desk. The first paralysis hit me a few nights after I reviewed the drawings alone in my office. I fell asleep on the couch without planning to, exhausted with my notes still open. I woke up fully aware of the room, the sounds outside, and the fact that my body was completely unresponsive. Before panic took over, there was a sharp moment of understanding. I knew exactly what was happening, and I knew that knowledge would not protect me. My chest felt heavy as if someone was slowly leaning their weight onto me, waiting to see how much I could endure. He was already there when I realized I couldn't move, standing beside the couch, close enough that I could see his face clearly. Oval face, small nose, thick eyebrows. His eyes were fixed on me with focus, not curiosity, as if he was inspecting something that belonged to him. I recognized it immediately, which did not help. My heart raced, but my body refused to respond. He leaned toward my ear and whispered with irritation no longer vague or distant. He wanted me to stop listening, stop asking questions. The pressure on my chest increased when my breathing became uneven. After that night, the paralysis became frequent and unpredictable. It happened during short naps, during the night, and sometimes just before waking up. Each time he appeared faster with less hesitation, as if he no longer needed permission. His behavior grew more aggressive with every episode. He grabbed my arms, pressing them down hard enough that I could feel pain despite being unable to move. The pressure felt deliberate, controlled, meant to remind me how helpless I was. One of my patients stopped coming after a violent episode. Another begged me to stop asking questions. The romantic patient returned once more, terrified, and told me he had become cruel, punishing her for talking to me. The final episode came without warning. I woke up already trapped, my body frozen, my chest tight, my heart racing. He appeared immediately, closer than ever, his expression tense and hostile. He pressed his hand against my throat, not enough to stop my breathing, but enough to make his control clear. His voice was sharp and direct now. He told me to stop giving him attention, to stop allowing his face to exist outside the dreams. I did not fight him. I stopped reacting. I forced my thoughts into silence, refusing to respond to his presence or his demands. Slowly, the pressure eased and the paralysis released its hold. When I woke up, my throat burned and my body ached, but the room was empty. I shut everything down after that. I canceled appointments, destroyed the drawings, and deleted every recording. I understood that attention was not harmless, it was an invitation. Some former patients say the episode stopped when they stopped talking about him. Others say he is still there, quieter, waiting. I don't ask for details. I still experience sleep paralysis sometimes, but he doesn't appear anymore. I know better than to assume that means he's gone. Have you ever dreamed about this man? If you have seen his face, don't describe it. The more attention he receives, the closer he gets.